Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich.
Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out. And we spotlight, of course, the New Orleans arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Poppy Tooker. She's back, host of the radio program Louisiana Eats, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio. We're thrilled. Author Jason Berry here to talk about his new book. Yay! It's been many years coming. City of a Million Dreams. And congratulations,
Thank
Jason.
you.
Yes. And Alan Smason, he's back from Broadway, theatercriticism.com. And later on, we'll have performances from the Crescent City Sound Chorus and a scene from the play Overheard at Joe's, held in conjunction with the Infringe Fest. But first up, Poppy.
Well, you know, all this bad weather's going to blow over tonight. Tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day, and I hope everybody might venture up I-10 to Baton Rouge to the Louisiana Book Festival, because it is a great event, particularly if you're a foodie or a book lover. It's from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. on the state capitol grounds tomorrow. You can see things like cooking demos from Isaac Toops with his new Chasing the Gator book. Brittany Lynn Krieger will be there with her book, Glowing Goddess, Guru Beast Manifesto. That'll be some demo. I can't wait to see a glowing goddess guru beast. Nancy Traeger Wilson, with Mamaire's Country Creole Cookbook. She will be doing a demo. And then there's Food History Talks with Joe Johnston, author of Grits to Glory, How Southern Cooking Got So Good. Can't wait to hear that. And then Loyola professor Justin Nystrom with his Creole Italian book about Sicilian immigrants and the shaping of New Orleans food culture, and me about the Manally's book in the state capitol at 1:30 tomorrow. It's going to be a big day, and you can find all the details at louisianabookfestival.org. But I'm really making a trip tomorrow, because if you're going up, come early over to the Baton Rouge Red Stick Market. I love that farmer's market. I'll be there before the festival from 10 a.m. to noon, cooking up some Manally's oysters and spaghetti. And I'll be doing a cookbook signing, and that's at 5th and Main Streets in Baton Rouge. And then how about them Saints? So those boys are doing such a good job. And no matter what they do on Sunday, but we know what they're going to do, you can celebrate their wins and what we anticipate on Sunday at Copper Vine's Veuve Clicquot Brunch. This is an event you should not miss. And Peggy, you know, Copper Vine is where Mailey's used to be. Finally, there is something deserving in that exquisite building. So Sunday at 9:30, because the game's at noon, $60, 3 courses, each paired with a special Veuve Clicquot, including Veuve Clicquot Rosé and Veuve Clicquot Demi-Sec. And the menu, quail and boudin gumbo, smoked salmon Benedict, duck confit. Of course, that's Michael Brewer cooking all this delicious stuff. And if you're not going to the game or going to watch the game or something, stay at Copper Vine, because what a deal this is. Bottomless Veuve Clicquot Rosé until 2 p.m. in the bar for only $35 a head. I know a lot of people who could drink a lot of champagne until 2 p.m.
Yes.
And then, you know, when Square Root was on Magazine Street, I never knew there was anything upstairs. Did you?
There's a smaller version.
There's a fabulous part. No, I mean on the 3rd floor. I don't think you've seen this.
No,
and this was there, but it was never used. They now, our dear friend Eric Cook and his family, they have opened up over his new restaurant, Gree, the Samedi Room, which is, of course, named after Baron Samedi, a voodoo spirit known as the Master of the Dead. And his new restaurant, fabulous food. Oh my God, Eric's gumbo is divine. But what they have upstairs on the 3rd floor is a lounge space with seating, a large screen TV. On the 2nd floor, you've got an open kitchen area.
Look at the view.
This is the only view like this on Magazine Street.
Yeah.
And it's very reasonable. He has just opened this space up on the way upstairs, the 2nd and 3rd floor. And so it's available for parties. So call them up and get booking now. Look at that pork belly with the compressed watermelon. Oh, Eric's food is just his shrimp and grits is so unique and delicious. And those are his chicken heart griots. I didn't think I was going to like that, but I can't get enough of it.
All right. Thank you so much. And earlier today, members of the a cappella Crescent City Sound Chorus were with us to perform songs from their new show, The Not So Big Easy. Here with details about this weekend's performance, music director Mary Beth McMurray. Beth, we are talking about a new original musical, but weaving together lots of harmony, aren't we?
Yes, we are. We sing all a cappella. We are Crescent City Sound Chorus, and we are affiliated with the Sweet Adeline International Organization that sings all
So tomorrow
international
night
harmony.
at Sacred Heart on St. Charles Avenue, The Big Uneasy. Tell us about
The
that.
Big Uneasy. It's a little spoof on the Twilight Zone. It's kind of set as a old-fashioned radio show. And then the show is the Twilight Zone, a spoof. So we have the Causeway Zone and the Waitress Zone, and then we end up on Act 3 with the Tourist Zone. So it's going to be quite a lot of fun.
So it's larger groups and smaller groups,
Yes.
depending the song.
The chorus will be in Act 1 and Act 3, and then the Act 2 is going to be all of our ensembles, quartets, and smaller groups.
Now, a part of the proceeds are going to a worthy cause.
Yes, we've chosen as our charity this year the Louisiana SPCA. And when you come, if you bring a donation, dog food, cat food, anything for an animal, bring it to us and you get to be in the drawing for the door prizes.
Now, you all perform throughout the year. This is your big one. of
This
course,
is our
too.
biggest fundraiser of the year. Our fundraiser is our singing. So instead of going out and peddling candy and stuff, we sing for our
Very
fundraiser.
good. And if somebody wanted to join,
Oh my gosh, we're always open for singers. We're an all women's group, so sorry guys. But there's a group for you too. But we have women and we meet every Monday night at 6:30 at Delgado Community College, right
okay,
here.
in Lakeview. Okay.
Yes.
And age range?
Age range, we pretty much 12 and up.
All right.
We have, our oldest one's like 83 and our youngest one is 14.
Okay, and once again, your website.
Website, crescentcitysound.com.
Okay, so what are you all performing for us tonight?
We are performing tonight as
Yes.
our dress rehearsal.
Okay, yes.
And tomorrow will be
but
2
for
and
our
7.
Show, but tell us about our show. What are you performing tonight on our program?
Oh, we're doing the Ico Saints. It's a medley of Ico Ico and the When Saints Go Marching In.
All right, so now the Crescent City Sound Chorus. Take it away.
Thank you.
My grandma and your grandma sitting by the fire. My grandma said to your grandma, I'm gonna set your flag on fire. Talking about hey now, Ico Ande, Giacomo Fino Anane, Giacomo Finane. My flag boy and your flag boy sitting by the fire. Fire, my flag boy says to your flag boy, I'm gonna set your flag on fire. Talking about hey now, Ico Ande, Giacomo Fino Anane, Giacomo Finane. See that man all dressed in green, Ico Ande. He's not a man, he's a loving machine, Giacomo Finane. Talking about hey now, Ico Ande. Giacomo Fino Anane, Giacomo Finane. Talking about hey now, Ico Ande. Giacomo Fino Anane, Giacomo Finane. When the saints go marching in, the saints go marching in. Lord, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in, when we hear that trumpet call, when we hear that trumpet call, oh Lord, I want to be in that great New Orleans number. When we hear that trumpet call, oh, when the saints go marching in, when the saints go marching in, oh Lord, I want to shout hallelujah.
hands. That's right. Remember that you can catch the big Not So Easy at Sacred Heart Academy's NIMS Fine Arts Center. That's tomorrow at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Visit Crescent City Sound Chorus's website for tickets. And New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, William Riccoboni gave us the name of a former member of Congress from New Roads, Louisiana, as well as that person's historic family name, of course, and we miss her so much. The answer was Lindy Claiborne Boggs. Now, tonight's question. These two NFL cities are located upriver from New Orleans. One is on the Ohio River, the other is on the Mississippi River. What are they? Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prize is a year's subscription to Louisiana Life magazine. Large unisex pajama bottoms with the message Barrel Latte from our friends at wearablevegetables.com. And a pair of free admission passes to either the Audubon Zoo, Aquarium of the Americas, or the Butterfly Garden and Insectarium. You can go to WYES.org for our online calendar to see our lineup of events, including the show Him and Them, that's tomorrow and Sunday by a New York-based dance company called Body Art. You can also link to our WYES YouTube channel to see our program. Now, Jason, only 20 years in the making, or how long? Congratulations on your new book.
Well, thank you.
City of a Million Dreams, A History of New Orleans at year 300. Yes.
Yes, I worked on it off and on for many years.
Yeah, you did other stuff too.
I did other stuff too.
Yes, and I feel like it's quite a bargain because it's like two books in one, in my opinion. No, because you really bring to life a lot of very many historic characters, and a lot of folks who don't know about Bienville and Père-Antoine think they were of the stuffy sort, and of course they were nothing like that. So I like the fact that you bring these people alive. You make them alive.
Right. Bienville, of course, was covered with snake tattoos, and by the account of a French admiral, went off into battle nude with his tattoos of snakes emblazoned upon him. You know, this guy ends up in New Orleans at about the age, or Louisiana, I should say, at the age of a college sophomore, 1699, and by the time he founds the city, he's 38. He has waged war and made peace with Indians along the way. He's really like a character out of a Joseph Conrad novel.
Truly, and of course the founder of the city, but so many people during history, you talk about the coffin maker, you know, sadly because of yellow fever, so many deaths in New Orleans over the years. In the early 1800s.
Pierre Cazeneuve was arguably the most fascinating person I dealt with. I did an enormous amount of research on him. This was a man who was a gens de couleur libre, free person of color, who saw what the yellow fever epidemics were doing to the city, and this was as bad as any disaster film you can imagine, sometimes entire families dying in a single day. And so he pioneered the use of embalming and had a large white clientele, and then began hiring bands to march through the street.
Does this sound familiar?
Yes, I mean, this is in the 1850s. In fact, the Times-Picayune, as it was coming into its own as the newspaper of record, ran a long editorial saying, we don't need this in this town. This is not the right thing to do. I think it's the only time the TP has been proven wrong. But
well, the other part of the book, as I said, I feel like it's a twofer here, okay, is that you do talk about the early days of jazz and the tradition of course, marching bands, funerals with music. And it's wonderful to see someone like Dr. Michael White keep the drive alive, being an amazing clarinetist, but also having performed in many jazz funerals, and there he is. It's a great picture.
Right.
And then Larry Bannock, Chief Larry Bannock, his own funeral and celebrating, of course, and his tribute and his memory with members of his Mardi Gras Indian tribe.
Yeah, I treat the Indians as a tradition of symbolic resistance that flows out of Congo Square. You know, the argument of this book is that the beguiling personality of this city has been shaped really by a long tension between a culture of spectacle that really began at Congo Square with the burial choreographies to the ancestors, and a city of laws that for much of our history, I don't think anyone would believe this, but has veered toward lawlessness. So I'm sorry, I am a muckraker, even though I appreciate the human comedy. And chapter by chapter, as I dealt with these personalities, Andrew Jackson, Claiborne, who was a fascinating figure, I kept rubbing up against this, seeing this clash between culture and the legal system. You know, how the Creoles had to adapt to the idea of separation of church and state, and here's Père Antoine, who gets himself elected pastor, and the court says, well, the members of the church now own St. Louis Church. It took a while to untangle that in court.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
and we
you.
just mentioned your book signings, but I know there's also a documentary forthcoming. We hope you can have you back and show a little bit of that too.
Thank you. And I will be
Congratulations.
at the
Yes.
State Book Festival tomorrow as well.
See you there.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I'll get a bite to eat.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
And now it is time for our Artist Spotlight. Tonight we are showcasing some artwork featured during Mid-City's Art Studios open house event that's tomorrow. 30, count them, 30 artists are featured. This is To Market by Aaron Belka, amazing. And this one is called Luxury by Kathleen Matthews. The studio is in Mid-City at Toulouse Street between North Murat and North Alexander, right off Orleans. The open house tomorrow from 10 to 4. Visit midcityartstudios.com for that. And longtime New Orleans actor-producer Vatican Lokey came to the studios earlier today to tell us about this weekend's production of Overheard at Joe's, New Orleans. This weekend will be full of theater in Fringe Fest, and one of the offerings is what Vatican and his friends are putting together here.
We're very happy. My company, Nola Voice Theater, has partnered with Dutch American Theatricals out of New York City and Amsterdam and Orlando to bring Overheard at Joe's New Orleans to the Crescent City. It's an international fringe theater hit. It played the Edinburgh Fringe Theater Festival, the largest festival in the world, for over 30 performances, set a record. We get it fresh off of its critically praised run up in New York City this past May, and for the Infringe Festival, we have completely retooled the show to make it all New Orleans all the time.
In a bar.
In a bar.
Cajun's Pub on St. Claude, which is very well known. So it is set in a bar, and it is in a bar.
And it is in a bar. It's in a fantastic New Orleans bar. It's an immersive, interactive experience. The best way I can describe it is it's like walking into an episode of Cheers.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, is it improv or is there a script? Will it be different every time?
It's going to be a different show every single night. The show is, we have some script points that we do hit, but by and large, the show is driven by you, the audience. The audience really drives the entire production because, as the motto says, everyone deserves to be heard.
Absolutely. And set up the scene we're about to see.
So we're about to see one of the main plot points for the show. Joanna Schepetta, Jo, the great-granddaughter of the bar's founder, Josephine Schepetta.
As played by?
As played by Jessica Huckabey, who is in charge of Dutch American Theatricals. And Edward Cox is her Uncle Joey. They're setting up for the party that night when my character, Cullen Anderson, comes in with an unusual offer.
All right, let's take a look.
Oh, I can't believe I finally made it here. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Uncle Joey.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh.
100 years, thanks to Grandma Joe here.
I know, I'm so excited for the party tonight. I got everything ready, just like we planned.
You got everything ready?
Yeah.
Oh, God, do I have to go get the cake and bring it here after I paint the house or what?
Oh, no, I got the cake for you.
You did?
Yeah,
Oh,
your
that a
favorite
girl.
kind, and in all your favorite colors, too.
Purple, green, gold?
You got it?
Atta girl.
That's right, and even a sprinkling of edible glitter.
Edible glitter?
Yeah.
How do they make edible and glitter? I know that, but how do you make edible glitter? How is that possible?
Don't worry about it. It's gonna taste delicious.
Oh, I can't wait.
Joe!
Hi, Colin. What are you doing
Colin.
here now?
Hi, Uncle Joey. Joe, listen, I gotta talk to you.
Yeah, you always want to talk to me. What is
This
it now?
time it's important. I just got a call from a group of investors. They were looking to invest in a property here in town. As soon as they gave me the address, I came right here. Joe, they want to buy the bar. But listen, it's not like all the other times. This time they're talking real money. They're talking $2.5 million.
$2.5 million?
Yeah.
For this?
They see it as an investment opportunity. They think the area is an up-and-coming area. Joe, this is the best offer we have ever gotten for this place. It's not money you could sneeze at.
I know, Cullen, but come on. This place has been in the family for 100 years. It's not so easy to let go of, you know? My great-grandmother, she built this bar. I mean, there's nothing else like it in the neighborhood.
This is our home, and the people who come here they're our family.
I know that, but the building is falling apart. You can barely keep your heads above water right now. This 2.5 will be able to help you live comfortably for the rest of your life. Open up another bar down the street.
Down the street.
Come on, it's not the same thing, Cullen. You know, these places, they want to come in, they want to gentrify the city. It's not New Orleans anymore when you have condominiums and a whole bunch of Starbucks built everywhere. Listen, this isn't a decision I can just make lightly, huh? All right, Uncle Joey and I, we're going to have to sit down and talk about this, and I got to talk to Mitch. You know, I got to think about this. What would you say? What would you do? Because at Joe's New Orleans, everybody deserves to be heard.
And we have cake.
Reminder that you can see Overheard at Joe's New Orleans at Cajun's Pub. That's on St. Claude Avenue now through November 11th. Visit DutchAmericanTheatricals.com to purchase your tickets. And don't forget to go to infringefest.com for a complete schedule, including a one-person show by Celeste Kahn. And now, Alan.
Well, I've returned from a visit from the Great White Way once again in search of whatever New Orleans connection I could find. And my first stop was none other than Circle in the Square Theater, where I saw the best show I've seen, the revival of Once on This Island. And I also caught New Orleans' own Simone Rose, who's currently sort of in and out. She goes in for a while and then comes out. But she, of course, is normally a blonde. We see her here sporting a black wig for Halloween as we hung out with the other cast members after the show. And they were all getting similarly dressed up and getting ready for the holiday. Now, after checking out Frozen and Mean Girls, I was really ready to check out the eighth wonder of the world, King Kong. That really opened last night. I saw it last Saturday, and I have to say, it opened at the Broadway Theater. The technical wizardry of this show is like none other that I've ever seen on Broadway. There are 8 men working the puppetry of the 25-foot-tall beast, and it's got a team of people who actually do all of the vocals and do all of the manipulation of the mouth and the cheeks and the eyes, and you know, it's just an experience. My guest that night was none other than Tony Award-winning actress and singer Katie Huffman, who got me backstage to visit with the show's leading actor Eric William Morris. He plays Carl Denham. The critics have pretty much soundly decried the musical. The score, though, is pretty exciting, and the projections are just outstanding. It's really hard to visually describe how massive this thing is, and again, it really is visual, virtual reality and reality intersecting on the stage. It's a guilty pleasure, and I'm going to tell you that I will be surprised not to see it go on Broadway for a long time, despite whatever the critics may pan, etc. Again, I hope it'll be one of the most visited shows. Again, the dark outlines of the men who manipulate the puppetry, the animatronics, etc. You can see it from time to time, but the image is there, and you really believe that this is a creature who is alive on stage. Again, an absolute treat for kids and adults alike. I recommend it highly. Get over there while tickets are available. So again, that's going to be on a stage on Broadway. Now, many of us locally, may as high school students, have read Everyman. It was a morality play that we read, you know, mostly in high school, about the meaning of life and maybe the purpose of death. Well, Brandon Jacobs-Jenkins took this 15th century work and updated it for 21st century audiences and sensibilities. Instead of being every man, it's now an ensemble piece called Everybody. And Everybody is really immersive theater at its best, with a diverse cast of people who, according to the script, pick their own roles each night. Again, some play the roles of people, others cover the roles of what we would call concepts. And because it's really very weighty material, it's really a very big kind of show that we would not suggest for young people. The somebodies in the ensemble deal with all sorts of serious issues and themes, again, revolving about death and finality of the work. It's directed by Helen Yach. This is a show with a limited engagement, only runs till November the 17th. I thought it was really well executed, and I would recommend it. Finally, this is the month where all of the universities and the colleges get together and put their best foot forward, as it were. And there's several works that are being presented. First off, we're going to start off with a French farce by David Ives. It's titled The Metromaniacs. It opens next Tuesday, and it runs through Sunday at the Dixon Hall Center. Again, this is, again, a farce and a comedy. Meanwhile, Delgado Community College is putting on a very serious work, a play titled The Boys Next Door. It deals with a group of mentally challenged young men men who are connected through a social worker as they try to live out their lives with dignity. And then there's George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion, which is over at the Marquette Hall at Loyola University. This is, again, for those of you who don't know what My Fair Lady, Lerner and Lowe's musical was based upon. Again, if you see this show, you'll see why Eliza Doolittle and Professor Henry Higgins really were more as teacher and student. There's just one show left for that tomorrow at Loyola. And finally, UNO is presenting Gloria this coming week with a magazine staff that essentially is trying to achieve glory, if you will, before their 30th birthdays.
All right, and Pygmalion the Opera at Le Petit this weekend, too.
Absolutely.
So much going on.
I'll be there.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Remo.
Time for our picks. Poppy.
What else could I pick? The Poor Boy Festival on Oak Street, Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
All right, Jason.
The Daily Beast this weekend will run an excerpt from my book, the chapter on
Congratulations.
Sister Gertrude Morgan.
Very good. Alan.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Tchaikovsky's Symphony No. 4 is going to be performed by the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra this coming week, November the 15th, Thursday, at the Orpheum on Roosevelt Way.
All right, and my picks, you can visit now the Piety Market tomorrow at their new home, the New Orleans Healing Center, right there in St. Claude. Also tomorrow is the Lakeview Veterans Day Parade. The parade is on Harrison Avenue, starts at 11 a.m. Visit LakeviewVeteransParade.org to learn more and see the full route. Also, all veterans are invited to march as guests. The Covington Three Rivers Art Festival is tomorrow and Sunday. Admission is free, and the festival takes place on the 200 to 600 blocks of Columbia Street there. Looking ahead, New Orleans Motown band BRW are the musical guests for WYES's own fundraiser. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. The event is next Saturday at the home of Allison and Mike Sanderson in Covington. Go to wyes.org/events to purchase your tickets, and all proceeds go, of course, to our station. Dr. Quinn Pieper and attorney Michael Harrell will be performing selections from Rachmaninoff and Bach, so it's Rock and Bach, with the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra. That's next Saturday, a week, at the Orpheum Theater. Visit lpomusic.com to get tickets. And the opera group Opus Opera is putting on a performance called Fleur de Femme, a night of opera featuring Suzanne Duplantis, Laura Ward, Irini Kirikadu, and Christina Val. Music with a flower theme, and that will be next Sunday right here at WYES. Visit Opus Opera's website for tickets. And thank you all so very much for being here, and thank you for watching. Good night.